Afternoon, everybody. And here we are again, 19th of August. And I've got to start with the weather. Where is the sun? Where? It's just appalling, isn't it? You think we've had some really hot days, but we've had mostly overcloud, rainy, miserable. But that's okay, because, you know, we've got the afternoon where we can spend some time together. So, yeah, we've got to be indoors. I have actually interrupted Leslie today because she's been in helping out and she's started to paint the classroom. Yay! But of course I've come in here because it's a better signal in here, so we can all make sure we stay online for the hour. So sorry, Leslie, but at least it gives you a bit of a break. It's all good. However, if you could see what it's like in here, it's a table in the middle of the room with loads of stuff over it. But it's fine. Who cares? Once you get started, the only thing that matters is this little tile on the desk here. So, are we ready? I'm going to sort of dive straight in with this because it's quite a bit to do, I think. And we'll see if we can get sorted within the hour. You can see here that I've got two little stencils. Now, if you've got your circular stencils from the Essentials kit, that should do just as good a job. It's not a problem. But you see here, I'm actually using the circles out of the circular frames. This is actually the two smallest, with the exception of the little baby one there. But other than that, that's not a problem. So, there we go. Tile number 59, 19th of August. And let's do it so we can see what I'm doing. And there we go. All right, I'm just going to maybe push this door to a minute. So we can block out any noise that might come in. Wait. There we go, sorted. Oh, webbed feet, is it really that bad? Oh, my word. Okay, so I'm going to start with my pencil. The only equipment I've got today, pen, pencil, tortillon. I do have a rubber with me, and I've got some coloured pencils, but as we know, I might get to them, or you can use your pastels, whatever you want to do. Hi there, everybody. Okay, so here we go. A circle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape in the centre there and the outside. Oh my goodness, 70. Well, please pass on our congratulations. My goodness me. Now, of course, you only want to do this lightly. I'm doing it a little bit darker so you can sort of see it. Oh, hey Joe. How's things? Okay, not working today. I'm sure you're there, Glenys. Hi. Okay, so I've got this sort of ring type effect. Everybody with me? Okay, so let's go in and split this space up. I'm not going to go through the centre, I don't need to, but I'm just going to sort of work it down. Oh, hello Denise. Long way. What time is it over there? Oh, you're welcome, Charlene. They are lovely, those pastels, aren't they? Oh, that's good. And then here, I'm not going to split it in the centre there. I'm going to add two lines in. And you see it's sort of almost going through the centre. So that one isn't. Having said that, there we go. All right. And here we go. This one, you see as it's going to there. Oh, hey Sharon, Karen, Fiona. Oh, it's just lovely. It's like the gang's all back together again. I do miss you on Monday, you know. It's I know I'm obviously working and doing other things, getting them ready for you. But, yeah, I do miss Mondays. Yeah. Oh, did you, Karen? Oh, that's great. I didn't know, I don't know, obviously, because Nigel's the one that was sorting all that out. I'm so glad you got it. Oh, is it night? Oh, so you still got to start the day. My goodness me. Okay, so here we can see I've got my frame and I've switched back to pen. Okay, now take a deep breath here, and I am actually going to use another tile just to sort of, if you want to give you some straight lines. So that's entirely up to you, but I think because I want you to see everything, I want to sort of go in freehand, but please use another tile to sort of do that, that's fine. Are we ready then? Okay, so I'm going to work from the centre here, so the centre line where this point is, and I'm going to take it to this line here. Okay, so from here to here. So I'm crossing over 2 spaces and going in 1. You see? Like that. Okay? And then I'm going to turn my tile. I'm going to come to the next point. And from there, and I'm going to come across again. So 2 spaces. There we go. Alright. And then again. From this line across. And as I said, if you want to use that extra tile and do this so you've got straight lines, it's entirely up to you. But I want you to see what I'm doing as I go. So I'm freehanding. It's entirely up to you. Alright. It's quite interesting actually with this particular pattern, that once you've done it this way and you've put sort of straight lines in, you might want to try it again and perhaps add curves instead and see how that's going. But for now, we're just going to follow it round. Each one, that same line. And just sort of make sure you focus on this, because you want to make sure that you're getting all your lines in. Alright? And there's that last one to there. Okay. Oh, panic over. I must admit, I did have a bit of a panic yesterday when I was told that my paper wasn't going to arrive. Because obviously I've got a show next week. And I need to start printing. They were telling me the paper wasn't going to arrive. Yes, there were claw marks in the ceiling. I don't think I quite kept my cool. But it's all good now. It's arrived this morning. Sorted it. You see here what I'm actually doing now? I've got to the point and I'm just joining it to that line. Some of them are going to be slightly different than others because obviously we're doing it freehand. Well, that's absolutely fine. Alright, see where we're happening then. Alright, so you've got this sort of aperture kind of closing in effect, isn't it? Okay, oh Joe, it's 26th, and yes, there's going to be 2 things new. Oh, I know, then I'll put the pressure on. Okay, one thing actually you've asked for, and one thing that I think you know is coming, because I've already sort of mentioned it, but I just need to finish it. It'll be fine. Okay, so I've got a little bit larger here, so you can see that this is the lines that we've sort of drawn in, and I now want to focus here, where we've cut this extra one. So this time, instead of doing the same as what we've done and gone 2, I'm going to come back on myself. So I'm almost creating a triangle here. And I'm going to join from here to that point there. Okay? So I'm going to turn my tile again. Let's turn it a bit more, that's it. From this point to this point. So whether you do it that way or that way, really doesn't matter. Finding it better. I always find it better to do that, I think. Oh, hi Shirley, hope you're okay. I was thinking about you yesterday. Hope it's gone well. Alright, so you see you're getting these sort of little funny V shapes. There we are. And just continue all the way around your tile. Putting that line in. And of course, because I'm using the circular frames here, you could actually do this pattern larger. It doesn't matter what size that you're working to, you follow the same steps, and you can go as large as you like, really. Be quite interesting, wouldn't it, putting something in the middle? They're like spider's legs. There you go. So we've got this kind of pattern going on. Look at that. It's all sort of interlocking, aren't they? I do love these. Okay. So then we've got 2 ways of doing this, and I'm wondering which way to go, because we could actually cross it here, we could join it here, and then that gives us a sort of a straight edge, or we could come back on ourselves, shall we? Let's do it. So you see here, where we've got this line, let's do this. I'm going to go from here to here, but I'm going to stop there, you see? I'm not going to go through that one. All right, let's go a little bit larger. All right, so here, look, I normally go across there, but I'm going to stop when I reach that line. See? Oh, look at this. All right, and then the next one, into there. Turning it round. Next one, into there. So you see, I'm focusing still on here to here, but I'm only drawing that section. You could do, but I think it's just going to lose the effect, isn't it? And it just focuses your attention as to where that line's going to go. Oh, Charlene, I'm on the 26th. I'm not 100% sure of the times yet, because they do change sometimes, but I've missed one. I'll go at it. I'll let you know. I'll keep posting. Okay. And that one there. And I'm just going to go all the way back round. Yes, Kathy, you do have to concentrate on this one just to get that sort of shape in. But isn't that what it's all about? I just need to have a little look. Let's have a... Oh, look at that. I do like it. I do like that one. It is really nice. I mean, I could still go in and fill in that shape. See how I feel in a bit. All right, we're going to work on the centre first. Isn't it lovely how they overlap each other, and you can immediately see where you're going to be putting some pencil to add that extra shading in there. Okay, right, let's have a look at the centre. So let's sort of work out centre-ish. Now, if it's not exactly in the middle, please don't worry about it. Just add yourself a little bit of a dot in there. There you go. Bit of a bigger dot, but there we go. Hey, Sheila. Oh, do you know, isn't it lovely when something sort of works and you're like, yeah, I'm getting this. Okay. Right, I'm going to put a line in now from here to here. Okay, and turn it round. I know, we do like the symmetry, and it's nice to have this. And I know I do tend to do a lot of organic ones, so I think that's just my thing. But actually, I'm going to take it all the way and see. I'm going to go over the circle if possible, and put those lines in so it looks like it's going underneath. And then now it depends on how you want to do this. You could go in with one, but I'm going to go in with two there. And then turning it round, I'm going to add in those twos all the way around there. It's a way of just splitting up that space without worrying too much about measuring and are they right, because as we know, it doesn't matter. It's entirely your thing. So we want them to be hand done. We want them to look hand done, don't we? That's the beauty of it. Okay, so. Just turn in as you go in. It's going to be one of those things with this, I think, that you've got to keep turning it. And it would look really nice on a round tile, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's go a little bit larger. So you can see that I've gone over where that circle was originally, but it was just a guide. Now, this doesn't matter which side you do this section on. You could do either or, but you've got to then, once you've decided whether you're going left or right, that's the side you stick to, okay? So I'm going to go left side, as ever, and I'm going to add in a little bit of weight to that bottom line there. You see the same again. So I'm not going all the way up to the top there, just going in and adding that weight. So just going in and filling in. Now I'm just taking that moment, I'm really enjoying putting that little bit of black in there. Those of you out there who are into your colouring and things, it's nice sometimes just to bring that little bit of something in, isn't it? There we go. Alright. Just a little bit as I'm working my way around. It doesn't matter if they're not all the same length or they're not all going up the same amount. It's just wherever you think. Just adding that little bit in and then going and colouring it in. Okay. And of course, the more lines you've put in, the more of these you can do. They're like sort of little feet almost, aren't they? Sort of like single feet just all moving around. It's quite a flowing type of tangle, this one. It's one of the original Sanntangle patterns, this one. And it's nice, I think, to go back and just work on those basics, because there's so many different things you can do with them. You don't need to know hundreds and hundreds of patterns. It's just having a little bit of courage and just trying out something a bit different with the ones you've got. There we go. Right, so let's have a look at that as a whole. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely got a bit of movement in, hasn't it, this one? And it's a little bit different from, you know, adding the usual sort of style in there. I think when you write books and you put instructions in, you do see which patterns you tend to go to quite a lot. So I'm a bit conscious about that, but that's okay. All right. Okay. Next bit then. Going in larger again. We're going to come to these little sort of shapes now. And what I'm going to do, now you can tell here that, let's have a look. That bit, you see, that's where my lines join, okay? So I'm going to aura around that shape. That one there. Oh, I do apologise. You see? And then along here. And then along here. Right. And then into this next one. So I could aura that one and that one at the same time. And then turn it round. And then again, this way. And then this time I could start that side. It doesn't matter. You can follow it all around. You could do all the same lines. It's entirely up to you. I'm trying to do it so I turn it the least amount of times. I don't want to give you whiplash whilst I'm whizzing round this tile. So it's again very repetitive, but it's worth it, because it's going to look stunning, isn't it? We're just going to love it. You know, you sometimes get that feeling from a tile, and you think, okay, I'm going to give this a go. Let's see where it's heading. But you get that gut feeling inside, and you think, yeah, I'm just enjoying this. I feel like this one. So, wrapping around there. And who'd have thought, this tile 59, that I'd have had 59 ideas tapped up in my head somewhere. Of course, and next week, no, not next week, Friday. Oh my goodness, Friday. Friday it'll be tile 60. It's almost like we need to have a party, isn't it? It's quite fun. And I know in December, speaking of parties, it's 2 years since I was at Create and Craft. I started Create and Craft. So it's my 2nd anniversary there. And I'm hoping that something very special is going to be ready for then. I've got plans. I'm thinking ahead. I do have plans for that show. Just in time for Christmas, I'm sure. There we go. And I just followed it round. I'm just doing exactly the same. I've just auraed those 3 sides of each of those little sections. Alright. There we go. Let's have a look at that. Oh, look at that. Doesn't that look great? You can really see now where it's started to come in. Oh, Denise, do you think, oh, I might retire at 60. No, I don't think I will. I'm enjoying it. It's great. All right. Now, you can see that your lines are probably not going to be as heavy as these, because obviously I've gone a bit darker so you can see what I do. So don't think, oh my goodness, there's all those lines there. I'm now focusing on these patterns or these sections here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to ignore the circle, and I'm going to go in and put a straight line from one to the other. And then I'm going to go from one side here and join it, or fill it with a range of lines. Oh, a Lindsay, is that what it was? Not tile 60. I've got a few years then yet. Oh dear. No, it's... I love doing this. There we go. Okay. Oh no, Julie, it's not like I haven't done it before, because obviously I do have a bit of a plan, but you know, it's just, I just love doing it. I love seeing it. Okay, I'm going to ignore this one. I'm going to leave it and go to the next one. And again, join the line there to there. It is always exciting, isn't it? Because even if you have done a particular pattern or a tile before, it's you know, you're never quite sure if it's going to work out or what it's going to do. And I think once you let go of that, and you know, you sort of embrace that bit of freedom, you start to have so much fun with it. And then before you know it, you're creating things that you never thought possible. And that's what's really exciting. And hearing how people, you know, are loving what they're doing and sort of rediscovering this art form or trying it for the first time, it's just lovely. It, you know, makes me feel all warm inside. There we go. Oh, I know, Charlene, it's nice to have lots of other bits and pieces, but it is also nice to know that just cut it all back and just go to the basics. You know, the best quality you can find. It's just a small piece, you know, and a decent pen, and you're away. But then, of course, you know, all the tangle boards and the different colour tiles are just fantastic, and it really takes you on a totally different journey. You know, I must say, I do like my creamy coloured journals, but I've been using the brights and monochromes such a lot this last month or two. You know, you just want to stroke the pages before you do anything, and each piece that you do, it's like a little jewel, and I'm getting so much pleasure from using them. It's going back to a cream one, who knows? I still will, of course, but I've been spoilt now with all those bright colours and all those greys. There we go. Alright, so this is where we're at so far. So we've worked on stripes, haven't we? We've got almost stripes here and stripes here. So we need to look at these little bits around the side now and think about how we can balance it out. So we don't want to go too structured. So for example, I wouldn't put a grid pattern in here now, because that would just be a little bit over the top with grids and structures. So it's going to be slightly more organic in that sense. So I'm going to pastel journal. Oh, I know, Pat. So how about we work on this one, and we're going to go in with a familiar pattern, I'm sure. And it's one where we do these little sort of hook shapes. So let's do one that way. And then following it through that way. And just filling up the sort of space with these little hook shapes. Now you can go as fat or as thin as you like. See, I'm mixing and matching, I'm going different ways. Let's put a little one in there. Let's part of one in there, because what I do want to do with this, and I'm going to just fill the space with bubbles. So this is where you start to get that balance between seriously, you know, straight lines and structure, and just getting a little bit freer. So this is like, those of you out there that thrive on structure, at least you've got a space to work within. Oh yes, the colour, they're just lovely, aren't they? And you start mixing and matching everything, it's just wonderful. So what I'm going to do now, any of the gaps or where I've not put bubbles, I'm just going and filling it in. So again, not only is this sort of, you know, fun to do because you've got to hunt out those little bits, but it adds some drama to your piece as well. It's really important that you get that balance, you know, between the light and the dark. So it's, yeah, we don't really want to plan it, but it is a little bit of thinking, what am I going to put in next and how's that going to work? Of course, I mean, you don't have to do that at the minute because I'm doing that for you by doing these sessions and planning out what we're doing. So, working our way around. See, just filling in some space. If you think it's a bit too much space, then add another little thing in. And again, go in and fill in with these little bubbles. Just wherever you can, they're all different sizes. Just make sure if you can that they're touching each other. But if you've got a really small space, see like there, just go in and fill it in. And just continue. I mean, sometimes with these we do tend to just do bubbles at the bottom. But because this is a pattern within a structured environment, we're going to go and fill everything in. You know, if you feel that you've done too many bubbles and there's not much black in there, then just colour a bubble in. It's pretty much this, you see how you go with it. Okay? Oh, Bridget, just do it. Honestly, just do it. Once you start, I'm not sure if you've got book 2, then that gives you some journal page ideas and it shows you how I've done them. So go in a pencil, just ever so lightly, and just sort of add a few bits and pieces in. It's, of course, book 3, who'd have thought, is going to have some journal pages, but I don't think I'm going to put as much instruction in. I'm going to sort of try and put bigger pictures in and sort of diagrams so you can see how the journal pages are made up. But yeah, it's certainly been an evolution, hasn't it, of between book 1, where it's seriously all step by step, to book 2 being a little bit more sort of adventurous with the tiles, to book 3 being again more, they're getting slightly more complex. And I'm sure if you look back to your first tile that you did and then compare it to the things that we're doing now, you're quite astounded. I think you'll amaze yourselves, you really will. It's remarkable, and the way you've all come on and what you've been doing, and not just with the tiles, but you know, with the kits, and you know how you've sort of responded to the frames and everything. You're doing brilliantly, absolutely. All right. Oh, sorry, going off a bit there. Oh, see, Rhiannon, we need to see it. If you're up to sharing, of course. I mean, we don't want to make you do it, even if it's just a corner. I think with the coloured one, it's like which colour to start on. So I do have tiles all over the books, and I've not finished the pages yet, but it means I can go back and I can add to whichever one I want, when I want, which is quite nice. So I've said before many times, each page for me, it's a work in progress. I might go back and add to them when I feel like it's never fully finished. Okay, what are we thinking of this one then so far? Actually, I think it's really coming on. This pattern in here has made quite a difference to the overall look of it. I don't know if you're tangling along, you think the same sort of thing. It's really changed it about. I mean, we could have done just bubbles if we wanted, or added a different pattern in, but well, this one's quite fluid, and it's not really a long one to do. It doesn't take much time at all. Of course, adding these in as well. These bubbles just go in with everything. A bit like Zinger, say Julie. Yeah. So just fill in those little bits as we go. And just makes a massive difference, doesn't it? Just doing this to it. Alright, next one. There we are. Almost done with this. Something about these, I love drawing them. Mind you, again, that's because they're organic. But you know, you've not got that extra sort of comma thing on the ends, which we're coming to. But we do find these a little bit easier to do, maybe. But, you know, everybody has their nemesis, don't they? And ones that they can't do, they struggle with. And then some that you think, I don't even know why people struggle with this, it's dead easy. There we go. So then just going in and filling in those little bits that we can't get a bubble in. There we go. Unless you've got a really fine pen, I'm sure you get bubbles in everywhere. But this one suffices. This is the one I've sort of settled on. I like a 01 or a 02 is probably now my go-to. It's not very often anymore. I use an 05. All right, let's have a look. Oh, look. You see what I mean by how that's really changed things? It's made a massive difference, hasn't it? Oh, loving that. Oh, deep breath there. Whew. Okay. Right, so we've got to work on the outside now, and this depends. Of course, we could actually use a pattern within here, but I'm going to leave it as this, and I'm just going to work from the outside. So I'm going to sort of like kick off from one of the points or the valley section here. Oh no, I love it. Okay, so I am going to do one of those lovely little commas. Remember, so it's like a curve, and then I'm almost coming back in on myself and stopping. Okay, and then from that point, I'm going to come back and join where I first started, okay? So then if I'm going to come in a little bit, let's just change this up slightly. I'm going to add a little one here. So I'm using sort of the same point. There's my little swirl. And then into there. Oh, does it, Lindsay? Okay. So working from this section now, I'm not going to stop here, so maybe about here. I'm going to come in and add, and it's almost like one of those little commas in the background, back to that point. And then again, back to that point. You see what I'm doing? So each time it gets a little bit lower down, but I'm coming back to the same point. I'm just going to keep it going for as long as I can. There we are. All right. No. So it doesn't matter which way round you turn your tile. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to put the one here. So I'm going to go a little bit smaller this time. So same sort of thing. See, it's going underneath and then stopping there, and then back down. And then I'll just get that one in, a little bit of it there, you see, so it's definitely going underneath. And then of course, let's add in that extra sort of, it's like an aura, but it's not, do you know what I mean? It's just sort of a repeat pattern, isn't it? Oh, it is, yeah, it's just lovely, isn't it? Just to sort of chill out with this, look at that. All right. So let's do one here now. I could actually do this way, then that way, then this way, but I'm going to change it up because I don't want to end up with some sort of mirror image. So I'm going to do one going the same way. But that's a decision I've made. It's entirely up to you as to which way that these go. There we are. Let's see, just that one's going underneath now. Then I'm going to miss this one, and I'm going to go to this, do one that way. You see, stop there, and then come back down. Well, it seems to be raining everywhere today. I know we need it, but we need a bit of sun as well, don't we? Oh well, can't have everything. There we are. And there we go, let's put that one in there. And here, see, I've got quite a bit of space here, so I'm going to add a larger curl in there, see? itself. And then here, see, I can even add a third one in there. Alright, back in, and in. You see how this starts to flow now, doesn't it? Once you've done one or two, and you get the hang of it, it starts to give you those sort of shapes that you're after. So I'm going to do one this way. There we are. And put that one in there. They do look a bit wave-like, don't they? Maybe we should add a touch of blue in just to bring it out. I think John's booked us a holiday for September. We're not going far. Stopping in Yorkshire, but he's found a really nice place. I have no idea where it is though. But he's definitely booked it. Oh, it's the beginning of September. Hopefully there'll be some nice weather. If not, it's just a new place to tangle. We can take the boys. Benji's never seen the beach. That should be fun. Although I must admit he wasn't best pleased last night because I was sat in the living room writing instructions, as one does, of an evening, of course. And he had got other ideas. He didn't want Mummy to write a new book. He wanted to play. So he sort of got on Minnie as close as he possibly could get. In the way, of course. Oh no, Bridget, you're just never quite sure how it's going to sort of come out. And I like that about it. Oh, what at the beginning? Maybe you actually, when I actually originally did my breaking up, I actually added 2 lines into each section. Maybe you just did the one. But that's okay. Yours is obviously going to be a little bit different. But not to worry. It was obviously a happy accident, the Leicester fill-in. Alright. Let's go in with let's go in one here. I'm going to do one the same way. And of course, if you're quite confident doing this shape, you don't have to stop. Once you've done your curl, you can continue it. So you could do that and then that. But it's entirely up to you and how you feel about it. I just think sometimes trying to do that and then that in one stroke, it can be a little bit off-putting when it doesn't go quite right. There we are. Maybe some of them are a little bit wide. You see how they're all coming back to that same point. Curling it around each time. There we are. Got a few going in there. Let's have a look. Alright. Not looking too bad at all, that. I'm really pleased with that. What I am going to do in with each one, just want to add in a little line. You see where I'm starting sort of in the middle of that shape and again bringing it back to that point. Oh, I know, Julie, yeah. No rules. And this is the thing, if you want to do this and add a dot on, or if you want to colour everyone in, it's really up to you. And I'm only giving you the starting point. You don't have to keep it the same, you don't have to put them in the same place. We know it's, I don't know what colour tile you're using, I don't know if you're working on a black with a white pen. But this is where I just want to give you the confidence to step out a little bit and try something. And of course, we've mentioned that, if you did this particular pattern but did it as curves, you're going to get some really, really nice shapes. But of course, I have to keep it to one, and I can't show you all of them because I haven't got time. And plus, other people might be just joining us and they've never tried it before, so giving you ideas if you feel ready to move on and do something else, but you don't have to. You can just follow my way. Oh, Chris, no worries. I'm not losing the videos at all. So whenever, and I am trying to put them onto YouTube as well, so you can watch them on your TVs. I think I've got the first 10 on there. But creating crafts keeping me very busy. So I'm working on that in a minute. Okay, space around the outside then. Now usually if we were to do a spiral, we would start, I'm just going to turn over for a minute. We would start with a dot and then we would go around the dot. So we go aura-ing around the dot. This time, what I want you to do is start on the outside and work your way in. Just a little experiment, see how you get on with it, okay? So when I've got some areas where I've still got sections inside, I'm going to add in some of these spiral shapes, you see? And then of course, I've got a little bit of gap, but I'm just going to fill that in. Not over the top, just the odd little bit. Let's see if we can get a small one out. You see, so I'm going outside and working my way in. Outside to inside. Now they're joining at the bottom there, but then I'm letting them loose a little bit. I'm just going to colour that bit, not colouring much of it. Oh, using the big stencils, Chris, colour in the background. You could ink them. So if you've got coloured inks, you know, water-based inks, ink, whatever you use for inking with, if that's what you do, that works really well. I don't have any with me today, but I can plan that in somewhere and show you how I'd do that, maybe next week. You see that they're not sort of really close together, they're just sort of spreading out a bit here, so I'm using them to sort of fill these gaps, just where those were. But there's something quite nice about working out to in, isn't there? I don't know if you're finding it weird or not, but I quite like that. Then again, see, I'm not going to fill all of it, I'm just going to add that little bit in. Just gives it that little bit of drama. And there we go. And that's it. Put too many in there. And working my way around. Just fill that bit in. So you see, these are probably one of the very, very first tangles that you ever do, these little swirls. But, there's so many ways that you can use them. So don't sort of think, oh, I did that in lesson 1 and I don't need them anymore. But they've got their own little style. And depending on how you draw them and how many you do, and, you know, whether you leave gaps around or weight it on one side heavier. I mean, we did it, was it last week we did it? There's the ground where we put the swing on the tree. And we weighted it heavier on one side. So this is just a nice little pattern to come back to each time. And just try it a little bit differently. See, I'm going around and doing these all one way, but you could try it, you know, see if it looks different going 2 ways. First left and right, or clockwise and anti-clockwise. It's building pretty well, isn't it, this? I like this. Alright, so even tiny ones. To think what you've got to do with these swirls is you've got to be quite slow with them, because if you go a little bit too quick, they sort of look like you've been quilling. Don't know if anybody knows or you've done any quilling before. It's like rolling paper, and it's all really tight until you let go of it, and then they go everywhere, and you end up with this really loose sort of spiral. Yeah, and then they're great because you can then shape them, do whatever you want to do with them, but sometimes you don't want to and you've got to re-roll it. Okay, so I'm back to where I started with these little swirls. And what I do want to do in places is I'm going to go in and I'm going to add in some dots. Now there's no need to press on with this because of course we've got a fine pen. We don't want loads, but you see, adding in that little bit, there we go, of texture. So they're quite close together, they look really dark. And if you sort of let go a little bit and loosen up, then they're there, but they don't look as dark on the page. You see? So just ever so gentle, so I'm just letting the pen touch the page. I'm not pressing on. I'm not doing anything that could damage that nib. Oh, well, you've got snails, that's fine. We could add a little bit of a shell kind of colour on them. So you do get that kind of effect. That'd be quite, especially with these are like little fossils, don't they? But it's amazing what you see in it. Again, remember, I did go in with a dark pencil line to start with, and that's sort of disappeared now, hasn't it? It's become one with the page. I encourage you to not think you've got to rub out everything before you do all shading and stuff, because you know that's part of its history. That's where it started its life, with that pencil line, and keeping it in, it sort of pays homage to that almost. Yeah, see, just adding in. See, I'm not going really massively around the outsides. I'm focusing these dots just on the insides, you know, where you might get a bit of shadow maybe. This is why I didn't go in and colour everything in darkly. Just added in little bits. And this one here. You see, so can't even hear, well, I can't hear my nib really touching that paper. It does, doesn't it, Lindsay? Are you finding it a bit weird? There we go. So look, you can see there are the dots in there, but they're not really taking over the whole image. They're just sort of doing that little bit, aren't they? Okay, so where to start? Deep breath. Whew. I know, Samantha. I'm like, oh, that looks lovely. I'm really pleased with that. Okay, I'm going to go in with pencil, just to start with. Looking at the centre here, I'm really going to add some around the centre. I mean, I'm really going to add some. You know, really go for it. Don't be shy. Okay. All right. No, Grace, it feels weird, but nice weird. It's sort of putting you out of your comfort zone on something that's really easy to do when you think, this is really easy, why is it weird? Well, it's lovely. Okay, now I'm not gonna put some pencil on the edge. I'm gonna add it, you see, just sort of at the top of where that little weight type thing I drew. See, just round there. And I'm not going in as heavy as with the centre, but I am definitely adding a ring of pencil around there. You see? There we go. Okay. So in with my tortillon. It's okay, Sue. Oh, hey Marie. So let's just pull out that from the centre there. Alright. And what I am going to do is I'm going to go in the centre with my pen. I'm just going to draw in a little dot. And I'm going to go around the outside there and fill in with black. Just leave that dot. Look. There you go. Alright. So with this one, I'm going to just sort of soften it up, but I don't want it to touch the pencil I've put in the centre. So it's almost like a very, very light zigzag I'm doing, very close together. Just softening the edges of both sides at once. But I'm not really wanting it to travel too far. I'm going to try and keep it, if possible, just in that section there. There we go. Alright, so look at that. Woohoo! Oh yeah. Yeah. Liking it. There we are. Okay, it looks like it's going in. Okay, might come back in a little bit and add a touch to that, but I think for now let's just leave it. See, I definitely want that white in the middle there. I mean, I could go in with a white pencil and put it in, but I'm just going to leave that. Stop faffing, Sandra, stop faffing. Okay, all right, so let's add a touch of colour in, and we did mention blue earlier, so okay, let's bring in the blues. And I've got a bit of a green. I'm working with coloured pencils today, so here we go, 3 coloured pencils, dark blue, light blue and a green. Might even touch a bit of yellow, see how we go, depending on, okay, dark blue then. So what I'm going to do is, let's go a bit larger, and let's just add that in, you see? And then same this side. But I'm just going to go into that section there, you see? And then the same here. Okay. If anybody thinks it's a bit weird, seeing me comment, it's not me, it's Marie. Marie and I are sort of sharing, because obviously she does the Monday session, so she's on here. But yeah. So if you're thinking, I'm just solo, why is she writing it? Especially when I've got 2 hands on my tile. It's Marie. Okay. You see where it's coming in. It's adding in that touch of dark blue. Of course, as we know, because I'm using pencils and not pastels, I can't blend these like I would with the pastel with the tortillon. Whatever blending I do has got to come from the pencils themselves. So if you're wanting to use the tortillon, then of course the pastel pencils are the ones to use. These are just the regular pencils. Okay, so back in with the light blue now, and I'm just going to work over the top, just a little bit gentler, you see, and work from one, sort of pulling it out a little bit, see, a little bit more there. So I'm definitely going over the dark blue that's there, and I'm just bringing out a little more of the blue. Come on, Denise. We like to keep you on your toes, that's what it is. There we are. So let's just sort of pull that out a bit so you can see where I'm going with this. So I'm just working on that shape around the centerpiece there, just going in with those blues. Definitely going over the top of that dark blue, but then just bringing that lighter blue further out. There we go. Okay. Now I'm not pressing on as much with the lighter blue as I did with the dark one, so I definitely want that darker shadow there. But this one, because I've got to blend it, it's easier to blend and build layers up if you put thin layers on, or sort of quite light. If you're trying to do really dark and then blend, it's not necessarily going to work for you. Okay. Oh, that's okay, Sue. It's not a problem. Come back later. There we are. So I actually have no idea what time it is anyway, because my clock's going, but it's not going, if you know what I mean. It still says 4 minutes to 2. Time stops in here. Okay, so coming in with my green. It's a nice one to sort of work on. It's next down in the colour wheel kind of thing. So you see, I'm just adding it over in sort of swirls. You see how they work beautifully together. So nice and light. And see, I'm not too fussy about the pattern that's underneath. Denise, we were talking this morning actually about how many clones I'd need. I think I reckon about 4 at the minute. Yeah, I mean, always gets busy up to a show because I do like to bring new things. So I'm working on new stuff all the time, but obviously trying to keep up with orders, which is lovely. Thank you so much, everybody. It's the orders from me. It's lovely. And then of course doing these, planning new tiles. Of course things are going on here. So, painting the new classroom. I actually did. I did order some furniture, and it was coming in 2 sections, 2 sort of deliveries. I thought, oh, that's great. So on Sunday I was expecting tables and like a desk kind of unit. I got. What did I get instead? I got the top of a chair, because I needed a new chair for my office chair. So I got the top section with no legs, and I got 24 legs. So I've got table legs, but I've got nothing to actually put on the top. Okay, so I've got my white pencil. Oh, it's made me laugh now. I couldn't believe it. I thought I've got 24 legs and nothing else. Oh, it could only happen to me, couldn't it? I know you can't really see this, but I think it's nice to go in and just add that white to it. It's just sort of finishing that edge off. It gives it the same sort of sheen, you know, that pencils tend to do on the top of different things. And I think it's important. I like things to be finished. So you don't have to be particularly neat with this. It's just about adding that last layer on. Okay. I mean, I could have used a yellow, or a different green, but I just wanted to keep it that kind of colour. Oh, Chris, you can wait till you see it. Okay, so that's sort of this colour. Again, we could carry on with colour, but I do like my monochrome and my colours at the same time. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to go all the way around the outside with my regular pencil. See, and again, I'm not being shy about how much pencil I'm putting on there. I'm going for it today. Now, it depends what pencil you've got, of course. If you've got a mechanical pencil, I do use them for drawing, but I wouldn't use them for shading. They sort of dig in and they give you a fine line, but nothing like one of these pencils. Oh, I know, Julie, but do you know what? Now you get to that sort of point of hysteria, and you think, if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. Of course, I'm just going to add a touch of pencil around there. And then, of course, if you have things delivered, they can't find me at the minute because my sign isn't up at the office. It's been done. My next door neighbour's doing it. He's a sign maker, so he's going to do it. But, and it's I think if you don't know where it is, you might drive past the road because it doesn't really look like a road. It's a bit like I don't know, maybe the entrance to something rather than a road. But yeah, okay. There's them familiar little smirks. Look, coming in now. Oh, Julie, I've not done any zingers. I'm sure you've added some to yours. I can go in and add some there. That's all good. Okay. Almost little bits. Not far off now. There we go. Alright, back in with that tortillon. So I'm going to just ever so gently add in a soft touch to that thick line that I did. I definitely want the background to look like it's in the background. So just wandering it round. Oh, classes at Chesterfield. I'm sure they will learn, yeah. I mean, have they opened the shop? Has the shop open this week? But of course, you know, everything's got to be in time. It's got to be in its place. But it's nice to have my own too, so I can do a tangling up here as well. So again, I'm just smoothing out. I'm just softening the edges. I'm not really going in too much. Oh, no, they're coming, Chris. I'm going to add some in a bit. But I was just too keen. I wanted to get some colour on it. That's what it was. So I had to stop and do that. I think that's something as well. You don't have to do all the drawing and then all the shading. You can't wait. Just do a bit of colour and then add the shading. It really doesn't matter. So just softening those edges. Oh, I'm loving that. You know, the colour in the middle. I'm loving it. It's a good one to do. I wonder what this actually looks then if you're using a black tile with. Oh, so I do apologise. I just see my hand there. That's what I'm doing. Don't you think, Lindsay? Oh, I'm going to have to, I think, now I've said. Alright, let's have a look at that. Let's see. Oh, look at that. You know, it looks so different when you see it on the camera compared to when you see it underneath. I can't really see it sort of over the top. I think what I am going to do is I'm just going to go in on that edge, you see, with a bit of pencil. Just to sort of define it. There you go. A bit of a soften up. Nothing much. And then of course back to pen. Ah, look at that. Nearly done. Nearly done. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to come back in with the pen and redefine that shape. Now, as you know, depending on what pencils you're using, sometimes you might find that the pen won't go over the top because they're a bit too waxy. So if that's the case, don't worry about it. You can do this in pencil. Just make sure your pencil's sharp and just sort of redefine that section a little. But, oh, this one there, look. But in this case, these are fine. If you do find that your pen stops working because you've gone over something that it perhaps didn't want to, just sort of gently use it on a piece of scrap paper and just sort of, you know, move it back and forth until whatever's on the nib comes away. And then again, I'm just going to draw it up to there. So I'm not, if you redraw all of it and you try and redefine everything, you lose the depth because everything's the same again. And what I'm wanting is to have just that little bit of a difference. See? Okay. So remember with this pattern, I did say you could have drawn from line to line and had quite a solid shape. But these, you could you could have done curves on all sides if you wanted. You could have curves coming out. So there's quite a few ways of using this just to create that slightly different pattern. And of course, we've got to have just, let's say just a few. Yeah, look. And so the beauty about these, they will fit in anywhere. You could do them anywhere, couldn't you? Let's have another look. Just sort of dotted around. Let's have one coming up and out here. You can have them going over or under things. Really doesn't matter. Let's sneak one in there, look. And one there. It's as far as you want to go with it, isn't it? If you want to do a few, you don't want to put any in, you really don't don't have to. But if you want to add a couple in, then go for it. It's lovely. They just crop up wherever. There we go. Had to be done. Oh, so. Okay, now I know I did mention about some of you sending me some pictures. If you've got a tile that you really like from 12 to 36, if you could, if you want to, you needed to send me, like this is a totally plan view of the whole tile. Just sort of say, obviously your name, where you're from, and if you if you want to say something about it, that's absolutely fine. And I did set the deadline at Tuesday, but if any of you want to do it, it's got to be done today though. Send me a picture via email. Email is sandra@sandrarushton.co.uk, and if I can, I'll try and get it put into book 3, so at least then you can have one of your tiles in there. I think that's be really exciting. It'd be lovely to do that. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah, 25 to 36. I have no idea. So yeah, that would be lovely. But I say it's got to be done today, because obviously the book's got to be done and finalised, because otherwise they're not going to be printed ready for next week. So thank you ever so much for watching again. Thank you for staying with me all the way through. And to say tile 60 is the next one, so we'll see what comes of that one. So enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of the week, and all being well, I'll see you on Friday, same time at 2 o'clock. So everybody take care, and I will see you all soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.